A very big welcome to you, my dear Aquarius. So last time I said I'm not going to do the readings anymore, but something happened and it's really interesting because it's really me that is sometimes in the way. And I decided, first of all, to make the readings smaller, except full moon and new moon. And I also decided not to cut and not to do that extra work. So if there is a mistake, there is a mistake, right? We're all human beings, and so we want to, of course, be perfect, but that doesn't exist. So today is the full moon. And the full moon is that moment where we are able to look deeper within the subconscious and recognize what is it that I want to let go. And of course the sun, which is now in Leo, which is opposite of you, is giving the light to the full moon. And a full moon is a special moment. A full moon is that moment where we recognize that two celestial bodies are bright. The sun is always bright, but now the moon is bright as well, and this full moon is really bright, and it's packed with a lot of wisdom, with a lot of energy, and so we're gonna look at that. So first we're gonna look also at the King of Swords, and we have a mix. That's where the changes are now. I have the first is here with the soul aspect, the Capricorn, the devil. That's between the 9th and the 20th of January. This combination I did in the previous reading. If your birthday is there, then please look in the reading before where the moon is in Capricorn. Then we have the classical Aquarius that I do today, which is between the 21st of January to the 7th of February. So here we have the soul aspect, and below here the King of Swords. And then we have a third one, which is here the Knight of Cups, and that's between the 8th to the 19th of February. This is again a combination. If your birthday is here, then you're this combination. And I am doing the combinations right now, right? I'm not doing the stations anymore. All the planets have moved. And so for me right now, I want to focus on the differences between the King of Swords with the star above it and the Knight of Cups with the star above it. Back to the last reading where we had Cancer Sun giving Aquarius Moon the light. The King of Swords got to take that leap into healing yourself, and the Knight of Cups, slowly you're understanding the magic. And I looked if, of course, a reoccurring card is there, and I'm not seeing one, but I see how you are jumping into the lion energy, into the healing. And so that's a really beautiful moment right there. Okay, so we begin. We begin with the King of Swords, and I have a masculine and a feminine king, and he's connected with the 11th house of community and technology. So right now I'm going to do the feminine king. Maybe I'm going to switch. The first card that's coming up is the Nine of Wands. This is your last reading to the right. After this, we're going back to the left. We're going back in. So the 9th of November or the 11th of September. So you've been hurt. And in that hurt, you recognize you can still make something grow. Even that sexual energy that is pushing forward is hurting you, you still want it, right? We know that it's important. And so you understand here that this is a special date. This is a moment where we notice something. The 9 is the completion, the 11 is a portal. And so this is moon in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius jumped into the healing. So I think you're healing some sexual aspects in you. And I want to see what this card really wants to say. And so I look at the moon. The moon has its own deck. And of course, I'm going to look at Sagittarius. Sagittarius has its own deck. So what's coming up is the heart home, the compassion. And look at that. So I'm going to put you away, right? We will get her card or his card back in. So she is looking at the heart. It's that moment where you see that with compassion, you see the 27, which turns into a 9. So there is a 9-9 portal. And so it's really amazing, right? It's kind of like the rose is growing towards you. In here comes the moon in Sagittarius, and then comes here the heart home. And you recognize that compassion is the only way to heal something that comes out of this sexual energy. Now, what is Sagittarius saying? The Ace of Arrows is coming. And the Ace of Arrows is the Ace of Swords, and that's what is important for you, because you holding here a needle. Meanwhile, he is holding the samurai sword. So the Ace of Swords is that one thought that can help you to overcome what's happened to you. A clear thought to a higher consciousness, noticing that you are connected with spirit. And of course, this one I can put here, then I get a 10, then I get a completion. Here I can put the one as well, and I get also a 10. And so you understand that then you have in the 10-10 twice the 1 and twice the 0, and the 0 is Uranus, and Uranus is the Fool. So there is a deep, deep healing happening, a compassion for yourself, for your home, for your body, because the heart, right, shaped house here is like what you are recognizing, and you see that out of your sexual desire grows this flower, but the flower is opening up here more in this level, right, the throat. And so that's what the heart is saying. So it's really beautiful. Then I want to see what is the Mother Peace Tarot bringing, and it's bringing Sagittarius. So there is maybe a connection with the Sagittarius. It's to the right. And so Sagittarius, she's dancing here with fire and water, and she's like coming into a trance. She's pointing to the Ace of Swords. And so this is Sagittarius, and there is Sagittarius. So I didn't need to pull another card. It's just kind of saying, yes, there is something with the Sagittarius. Moon in Sagittarius. Moon is in your sign, but the moon is connecting you to an incident, to a moment, right? And you are understanding that moment. And so the 14 becomes the 5 when we united. The 5 and the 1 is the 6. Self-love is appearing in the 9-9, in the 11. The 6 is talking and is bringing you, yes, love yourself. Love yourself by understanding that you have the power within you to unite the masculine and the feminine, and this is what's happening here. When you unite the masculine and the feminine, then the healing appears. And then you understand also that she's holding here in front of her sexual parts the arrow that is going up. And she's dancing, right? She's dancing as temperance, as that masculine, feminine power force, right? And we see the fire and the water wave. So it's really clear. It's the 11, it's the 9-9, and the 6. The 6, you know that the 6 is self-love. You know that the 6 is helping you to overcome anything. Beautiful. Then we look at Pisces, the Knight of Cups, and he's the number 12. And he or she is getting friendliness. And the 12 plus the 2 is the 14, right? The 14 we know is temperance. And so the 14 turns into a 5. And the friendliness is the 2 of cups. And in the 2 of cups we recognize a union, a special union, a union that is really strong. Now you are the 12th house of art and spirituality. And you understand that here the Venus in Cancer aspect of the 2 of Cups is talking to you. So of course I want to know what is Venus saying, and of course what is Cancer saying. So Venus is bringing you the Pope. And that's the 5. So there's a 5-5 portal, right? And already that's letting me know very clearly that here Taurus is bringing something to you. And I'm going to put you away. I'm going to look, of course, what is Cancer bringing. And Cancer is bringing you the 10 of Wands, which is Saturn in Sagittarius. So it's interesting, right? The King of Swords got the 9 of Wands, got Sagittarius. And you, the Knight of Cups, is getting the 10 of Wands, which is Saturn in Sagittarius. So the 10 and the 5 is the 15, that's a 6. The 6 and the 2 is the 8. The 8 and the 12 is the 20. And that's the last judgment, that's Pluto. But you understand that we can calculate these cards in various ways together. So here we have, of course, Venus. Venus is bringing you become a spiritual leader who has this friendliness inside of him. Doesn't matter what's happening in the outside. The 10 of Wands, yes, it's intense. It's suppression, spiritual suppression, but the 5 and the 10 becomes the 6, and the 6 is again self-love. Sometimes a spiritual suppression needs to happen for us to liberate ourselves out of it. It could be also karmic energy that we release finally in this lifetime. And so there could be a relationship that has that spiritual oppression. So you see that it's important to understand how we see the numbers. Now, what is the Mother Peace Tarot bringing? The 10 of Wands is coming again, but now it's facing down. Look at this. So you got a 10-10 here. The 10 of Wands twice coming up. Now these women are dancing all night to a trance. Now in reverse, it's almost like this dance has fulfilled the letting go of the oppression. It's like a 10-10, the 20, 25, the 7 and the 2 is the 9. A completion is happening here. And you understand how important all of this is, right? That we understand that you are jumping into this fluffy pink. And there is the pink tree. But there's also a yellow tree. And sometimes the yellow tree says to the pink tree, well, why aren't you yellow? And the pink tree says, well, why aren't you pink? And we can't. And the spiritual oppression is actually real. Right? The church makes us do things that we are realizing doesn't work. That oppression doesn't make us happy. We need to find ourselves. And if we find someone with whom we can share that friendliness, life is amazing. So, again, 10, 20, 25. 25, the 7. The 7 and the 2, the 9. The 9 and the 3, the 12. You are coming out of that. You are coming out of a spiritual oppression, and you are like, yes, I am jumping into my fluffy pink tree. And I leave it like that. I'm not changing anything. I am really good where I am, and everything is destined. What is the full moon saying? The full moon is bringing the closing door, the completion of a cycle. So there is a 5, and the Knight of Cups has a 5-5 portal, and the King of Swords has a 5-5 portal when you unite the 14. A 5-5, 2 times the 5. And 2 times the 5, again, understand that's the expression, the words that come out, and we need to bring them forward, outwards, otherwise the door is closing. What is coming from your deck? The King of Pentacles is coming. So for Pisces, there's definitely a Taurus here. We have here the spiritual aspect of Taurus, and we have here the human aspect, the feminine king of Taurus, right, of Pentacles. And so this is the number 2. The 2 and the 5 is the 7. The 7 and the 9 is the 16. Again, things go so that the door can close and that we leave things behind us. Don't wait until the door closes by itself. You closing the door. And so this full moon is awakening something deep within you, right? And you are recognizing that the 5-5 portal is here, but also the King of Swords is recognizing the 5-5 portal here with Aquarius. And so you understand, right, that this full moon is closing a door that needs to be closed in sense of finance, in sense of how I handle money, in sense of how I see richness displayed in this world. And sometimes I feel like I need to have that richness, but you don't need anything. You just need your breath. You need that you love yourself, and that's it. Now the sun, which is giving the light to the moon, brings you the dark matter, the number 38. And the 38 turns into the 11, and here the 19 into the 10. So 3 times the 1 plus the 0, a new beginning into the dark matter, into transformation, into coming into a new place, coming into a new understanding. All the butterflies, one in front of the mouth. What is coming from Leo? Leo is bringing the Ace of Earth. So we have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Earth. We have an 11 here, or 1-1, 2 times the 1. And in sense of money, right, like we had here the King of Pentacles, the feminine King of Pentacles, we need to look at how we spend money. Money is important, but money is not everything. And the church also holds the institution, the money, the finance. And so we have the 10, the 11, and the 1, the 3, 3, 3, and the 10. Or 4 times the 1, 11, 11. That's the portal, right? That can be a date, the 11th of November, or 11 o'clock. So you see that there's new money coming in, and it's obscured in the dark matter, and so sometimes we don't understand what's really coming. And it's a mystery. Dark matter is still a mystery, but they say that we are actually in dark matter. So imagine what is outside of dark matter. And so here we have the tale of we can reinvent money in a whole new way. And there's also a little butterfly, right? There are all these butterflies. So 4 times the 1 and the 0, a new beginning in the way you see the strength, right? See the lion, see the power of Leo, see the power of the strength card of uniting, right? And so we see that with the King of Swords, there is an 1-1 portal. This is a feminine element, and this is a masculine element. And we see that the clear 11 is also talking here to the King of Swords. Doesn't matter, masculine or feminine. It's like There's an 1111 here as well. And that's the mystery that we don't know yet. What's going on? And we had here the 1010. And that's also an 11, right? So the 11 is actually very clear and very strong in this reading. It's letting us know something is important. Now here we have the 22. That's also Uranus, because there are 22 major arcanas. And of course, the 0 is the 0, but it's like the 22nd major arcana in the end, right? And so the 22 is saying, yeah, begin a new life. Begin to understand that the yellow turns into the pink, and there's the yellow again. You see that? It's really beautiful. So there is an understanding that I can be the way I am, the 22. I can be crazy. I can be out there. I can do whatever I feel like doing. And you're just doing it. And then the 5-5, the closing of the door. The spiritual closing, right, of where we sometimes feel a little suppressed. But you also had the reversal of the 10 of Wands. So it's almost like 0. All right? Upright, facing down. A 0 comes here. So the 5 stands by itself. With the 2, the 7. The emotional intelligence to know what it takes to be a spiritual leader. And in there, the healing can happen for the Knight of Cups. And the healing for the King of Swords is learning to open your sexual energy with the way you feel at home in your body. Again, in the way you recognize that if you want to heal, connect to your higher self, connect to that which is holy, that is pure, that is innocent. Beautiful. I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when we get the sun in Virgo. And Virgo is always the 9, right? The 9 is like the completion. And the 9 is always that moment where we awaken to, I have realized something. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.